Little, there be whales here.
His name is Brendan Fraser, Scotty. Be polite, God. The Whale, released in 2022 and is directed by Darren Aronofsky, who's also directed such films like Pi, Requiem for a Dream, The Fountain, Black Swan, and Mother! And this film, of course, is starring Brendan Fraser. He won an Academy Award for Best Actor for his performance here, Sadie Sink, Hong Chow, Kai Simpkins, and Samantha Morton. And the reason why we're talking about The Whale today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from one of my contributors and supporters of this channel, Dr. Camp. Thank you very much for your recommendation. I told you I'm going to be getting to all of your recommendations that you sent me at the end of last year. If any of you out there also want to be like Dr. Camp and help support me and contribute to this channel, you can click on the QR code that is in the bottom left corner of your screen right now. Send over your donation of $5 or more with your movie recommendation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and give you a little shout out, just like what I did with Dr. Camp here. Charlie is a morbidly obese man living as a recluse in his apartment and is experiencing several different health issues that makes him believe that these are the last few days of his life. And all throughout the film, he is visited by several different characters. Liz, who is the nurse that looks after him. Thomas, who is a Christian missionary, who randomly pops in thinking that this is his mission to save this man, but also his ex-wife and his daughter, Ellie. And the movie follows Charlie trying to make amends to those people that he cares about most before it is too late. And this film is based on the 2012 play written by Samuel D. Hunter, and you can definitely tell that this film is based on a play. When the film takes place in one setting and it's an apartment or it's a living room of some kind, you know that it's probably based on a play because theaters love one-room settings like that. It's a lot cheaper, it's a lot easier to produce. And I remember this film getting a whole bunch of rumblings and just great reviews from all these different film festivals talking about Brendan Fraser and how this is the performance of a lifetime. This is his Oscar, just give it to him already. And after seeing it, it's absolutely deserved. I think the Oscars last year, everyone was a little bummed because it was pretty straightforward. There were no surprises on the winners. But when you actually watch the movie, yeah, no one else is going to win that. Brendan Fraser was incredible here. He was terrific. Could this role have been played by anyone else? Yeah, sure, because this character is created with prosthetics and hair and makeup, which are fantastic in this film also. But there is an innocence and a vulnerability that Brendan portrays in this character of Charlie that just tugs at your heartstrings and makes him universal, because we all go through depression at one point in our lives. This character, Charlie, went through a severe period of depression, probably actually up until the last day of his life. He was married to a woman, he had a beautiful daughter, he loved his daughter, but then he fell in love with one of his students, one of his male students, and because that was seen as controversial and that was seen as not right, people shunned them and they kind of just recluded away. They went away. And then his boyfriend, I don't think he ended up being his husband. I think when this movie takes place, gay marriage wasn't allowed, unfortunately. So he commits suicide, which sends Charlie into this depressive state where he just eats all of his feelings away. That's why he becomes morbidly obese, is because he's just so depressed. So know that going into it. If you're going to watch this movie, it's a depressive film. There's a lot of darkness. There is a lot of emotion. There are a lot of terrible emotions in here. There are a lot of terrible happenings and people recalling terrible things that happen in their life. So it's not going to be a joyful watch for you. Yes, there's subtle humor all throughout, but this is a film about a man who is just trying to make things right before he is no longer here. How many of us want that opportunity when we know that something is going to happen, when we know the end is near? We want that opportunity to make things right and make sure everyone is going to be okay when we are gone. So the story here is hauntingly beautiful. It's sad, it's depressing, but it's also inspiring. It's also hopeful. That's one of the redeeming qualities about Charlie, is that he is this optimist. He's constantly looking at the better things in life. Even though he is depressed, he still can see the good in people. His daughter Ellie is a little shit. She's a shit to him. She's a shit to everyone at school, to this Christian missionary that comes to the door, to Liz, who is the caretaker. She's a little shit, but yet Charlie loves her and knows that there is a good person inside of her. She's a character with layers, and this movie portrays these characters so layered and so wonderfully. All of these characters have multiple layers. Charlie has many more multiple layers just because he's so big. I had to go there. Everything that is said in this movie is layered. The title of this movie is called The Whale. Yes, you can look at Brendan Fraser and go like, oh my god, you're morbidly obese. Of course, The Whale is about you. It means so many more things. They constantly reference Moby Dick and Captain Ahab going after his white whale, going after that one thing that has haunted him his entire life. We all have that one thing that has haunted us our entire life, and we just want to grab it and take control of it. There's also multiple layers of what people think of when they look at Charlie. Charlie's constantly worried about how people think of him. He's a teacher and he teaches virtually, but he always keeps his camera off because he's scared of what his students will think when they look at him. When this Christian missionary Thomas comes over, he thinks that he's looking at him and he's disgusted by how he looks. And it ends up that no, he's not disgusted with how he looks. He's disgusted with the fact that he's a homosexual. It shows how deep some people are, but then also how shallow some people are. Like, really? That's the thing that you find disgusting about him, is that he fell in love with another man? Really? Get your priorities straight, sir, please. The movie is a hard watch, but it's a great character study into this small group of people. The reason why Liz comes over and takes care of him, the reason why Ellie is coming over when she hasn't really seen him in several years. All leading up to a triumphant climax and conclusion of this film and of Charlie's life that is inspiring. Which does bring me to the end of the film, and this is going to be a spoiler, so if you don't want to know the ending of this movie and how these characters end, please skip ahead by like a couple of minutes, because this ending of this film kind of bothered me. So 3, 2, 1, here we go. So the film ends where Charlie finally stands up and walks over to his daughter, who is in the living room. You have the light behind her, you have the golden hour, so everything looks angelic. He's walking towards the light, he's walking to heaven, and then he's lifted up as she finishes reading and he dies. The screen goes white, and then we flash to a brief little clip of him back when he was younger and Ellie was younger and they were on the beach. That story that they told in the middle of the movie. I honestly think you didn't need that. And I would assume the play actually does it the way I would have preferred how this film ended. Just cut out that actual representation, the actual image on the screen of them at the beach. Don't show that all. Let the screen go white, and all we hear is just the ocean, and we hear the birds, so that we get the sense of, oh, that's where he went. That's where he is right now. He is happy. And then let that fade to the credits. Flashing just that brief little image of him at the beach, it just felt like it was spoon-feeding to me. And it just angered me. Just the last couple of seconds of the movie. This movie had me. It was wonderful. It was brilliant. It was depressing. But I was digging it. I was loving it. And then just that little bit, I'm like, ah, God, that ending kind of messed up the movie for me. But again, besides the decision of how this film ended, again, I'm not being paid to direct the thing, so what do I know? But just my preference. But besides that, again, I think this film is just a brilliant character study. Brendan Fraser is tremendous in this film. He definitely deserved his Oscar win, and I definitely recommend you check this out just for a slice of life into what life is all about and trying to get that whale that's constantly haunting you. I'm going to give The Whale 4 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I like it a lot.
So guys, if you've seen The Whale, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I release next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.